Hello, this is my fourth match from Season 4 of the Giant in the Playground Blood Bowl League. I am Thufir, PocketWraith, or Wraith Pocketwatch, depending on where you look. And I have my opponent with me here.
Hi, I'm Quaz.
And so, obviously here I'm looking at all of Quaz's players.
And it's quite obvious that I'm hilarious.
Yes.
Look at all those puns. You can't get better than that. I mean, come on, get in the trunk. It's almost like you're looking at a tree, even though there's no tree there. There will be a tree there.
Yeah. It's a shame that you're missing a player, and so you have the journeyman Akol in, who is not a pun at all.
Come on, have you never heard of the greater redwood cedar tree Akolin? I'm going nowhere with that. There's nothing. I don't know that he. What? Who was I playing before you? Do you remember?
No.
This is we should probably say that we're getting on towards midway through season 5 now.
Yeah.
So this was a while ago. I think I just about remember how this match ended and how I felt about it,
Yeah.
but I can't remember anything that happened in the match or who I played before.
Yeah.
I seem to remember it was fairly early in season. Well, it was. I keep thinking this is season 1, but in reality, it was just the first season where we restarted everybody. So,
yeah.
So just season. It was fairly early in season 4, and it's a fairly unskilled elf team that we'll have to see as I'm using them more.
You do have a lineman with guard.
Where have I put him? Oh, hold on. Let me try if I can remember. Because my only lineman with guard for a while was number 7, but because I play with my numbers instead of my names, I have no idea which one that is. Did I put him on the front line? Do you remember?
I think you did. Definitely, he was on the front line when I was looking at him, when I was mousing around all your players while you were setting up. Okay. But you may have then moved him.
I think you had him. You seem to have him selected.
No,
there's one of yours with guard that's selected.
Yes, yeah. I have guard on one or both of my blitzers.
Yeah, I think so.
Both.
Because we restarted, like everyone's teams were new for season 4. This is kind of a very early Wood Elf team versus a very early Pro Elf team.
Yeah.
So it's sort of we've had less chance to build the tactics we want into our players. If you want to think of it that way, it's more just how we do with more or less out the box versions of our teams. Had a little bit of chance to advance.
We do have these crucial points, like I have guard on both my blitzers.
I have 2 war dancers, I think.
Yeah.
That's something. I don't think I started with 2. I think to remember I started with...
Orpheus has dodge and wrestle. I'm not sure how many of his level ups Mercury has yet.
You're saying these names, everybody, for just spoilers. These names become nightmares. these names become horrible stains upon humanity. I mean, elfanity that need to die and still have not yet done so.
And yet, the Doc Alphard Daggers, Luzon's Doc Alphard Daggers, who are now in the Legacy League, they are real nightmares because they have agility ups and are elves. So
there's pleasant double skulls for you.
Agility 5.
Tasty double skulls. Of course, now I've got a knockout to pay me for that cynicism.
Yep. Agility 5 and...
Oh, what? This game did not start well for me.
No. Whereas the best level up I have had throughout, still to the present day, about halfway through season 5, is a movement up. I've had 2 movement ups and some doubles, but most of my level ups have just been skills. It's just that I have many of them and made good choices.
So what you're saying is, I'm just better than you. That's essentially what you're saying there, right? I'm just better than you, so I make better use of my skills. It's fine. It's fair.
I don't see where you get that from at all.
well, hold on. What was your record? Well, maybe we shouldn't talk about your record in this season. But I'm certainly feeling fairly smug about what's happened in the current season. I seem to remember going to this game with a lot of trepidation. Like, we should probably talk about what's going on in this game. You clearly just ruined my front line, and now you're breaking a hole in what, as we're looking at it, is the left flank. So what you usually do is kind of run in a lot of bother into my end zone because you have nerves of steel on all your catches.
Yeah.
When I say end zone, I mean my backfield. Because you tend to care not what I do to your catches as far as tackle zones go.
Yep.
So while I don't remember what you did, I'm willing to bet it's something like that.
Yeah, well, it's the general strategy that I fairly quickly fixed on with this team, is just to be incredibly aggressive at all times.
Here he goes, through the hole you nicely opened up.
Counting how many squares away from the end zone I want to put him.
Enough that you can make it without going for it, but not so far as to make the passing harder.
Yeah, since I don't actually have a thrower at the moment.
Do you not? We just throw with regular... with other catchers.
Because my thrower died in my first ever match with this team.
Right.
And I obviously had not yet replaced him.
I do believe your other thrower is called Enigma?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who
so
I
he
haven't got yet.
He was purchased later on, I see.
Yeah.
Whereas I started... So you've not... you knocked out some branching paths... I seem to remember I've fired him now, so he didn't have much going for him.
No.
I seem to remember my team started with one War Dancer and a bunch of Line Elves, and quickly progressed to getting a second War Dancer. I think potentially a tree, but I might have gone for a thrower first before the tree. So I certainly haven't changed too much because I haven't got a tree yet. But at least and I seem to remember thinking, because I just know that you're a fairly talented player. Yeah, reasonably. Let's not give you too much credit.
I give enough credit to myself. You don't have to.
Yeah. Because of that, and the fact that it was sort of agility versus agility, you had all 4 blitzers with block. It was fairly early on, and there was nerves of steel, and I was I wasn't totally sure what I was going to be able to do to counter you. So I was mostly, I think, relying on getting a bit lucky and throwing a bunch of... I'm not totally... given the fact that you can just run Orpheus into the end zone, I'm not totally sure what I'm doing with that War Dancer, but never mind. Maybe I had thoughts that you might not be able to score instantly for some reason. Whatever that is. Maybe I'm planning on tackling Orpheus.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm just planning on, putting stuff in his way. To come back to what I was saying, I was just thinking, I didn't have a go-to plan in mind for how to defeat you. It was more just see, get in your way, harry you, and see what opportunities presented themselves to me. So,
which is fairly decent elf strategy in general. Just get in their way and see what opportunities present themselves.
I think I might have been thinking that with enough leap on my side, I might be able to do something interesting. I'm concerned about the fact that I didn't move many... all these guys on the right-hand side are being caught flat-footed, because I haven't moved them to do anything. I mean, I guess they're guarding the right-hand side, but... I suppose if I'd moved them, you would just run to the right-hand side. So I could probably have done with moving Woodsman's Chopper a bit. Move him inwards, or move everybody along a bit to the left. I just did an action there that nobody listening to this on YouTube will be able to see. But if we moved all 3, take a bow, limb still attached, and Woodsman Chopper off to the left a bit, the right-hand side still wouldn't have been as attractive, while the left-hand side would have been better protected.
Yeah.
Although now I'm just thinking that you're going to just throw the ball to Orpheus, or hand it off even, and score.
I'm going to hit some
people
guys
first.
because the ball is totally safe.
I'm not entirely sure what I was attempting to do there, because I didn't take a block with bite worse than bark. I don't see why I didn't. There's just no reason not to, really. Here you're going to try surf and chip off the old block, of course.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't see why you won't succeed as well. Yeah, it works. You just need to run an extra assistant. Yeah, you're thinking about this a lot. Cancel assist out all. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking about putting him on the sidelines, but that works better. And he's gone. Any reason you didn't do it to the War Dancer?
Maybe it was more difficult to get round to the War Dancer. I don't know. The War Dancer doesn't have sidestep yet, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is an interesting question. The because it's obviously the more valuable target. Maybe it's just a case of access. Like you said, but I mean, Orpheus is right there. It's not like one of my players is stopping you from hitting Bite Worse Than Bark. Okay, so are you thinking about giving the ball to Mars?
No.
Seem to be just checking zones there. I think you're just going to hand it off in the end, aren't you? Because you don't have pass and you have catch.
It's possible. It's possible I might be thinking of moving up players, so even if I drop the ball, it'll still be relatively safe.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe either I'm going to cage up there or I'm going to make the pass from there.
Well, you're clearly caging.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I thought you might have scored quickly, however.
Yeah, well, I mean, this was still early in the time of the team. I think if I did this now,
you would have just scored.
I probably would have just scored.
Yeah, looking at it from.
I just can't be bothered to wait around with this team.
Yeah, if I was playing your team, I would have scored there, but you're definitely building up a numbers advantage. Sticking around, not a bad idea.
Yeah, that is a point, actually, because I got a knockout and a casualty, and I just pushed a guy out the sidelines, so I'm currently 11-8.
Yeah.
And I can
Run in
now have
multiple
multiple
threats.
scoring threats, so I can score pretty much whenever I like. At least in theory. And yeah, because you didn't move your guys on the right,
they're all just miles away.
Yeah, and I've been able to kind of block them off a bit.
Yeah, they're just useless, because if I'd have moved them over a little bit, Petrushka would not be as annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, maybe you'd have run a couple of guys off to the right-hand side, but then they'd be further away from the ball and less of a threat than the guys close on, and I'd have more people in the right position. All things would be better had I moved first and done stuff later, which is a lesson I still have not taken enough to heart. That has bitten me more than once, and I still have... Oh dear. Yeah, not enough block on my team yet. Yeah, I think yeah, thinking about it now, what I've done since is kind of built up some block, a little bit of wrestle, kind of want more wrestle still, and then started to get some dodge later on, put a bit of tackle in, because Thufir was big in the league at this time, and he was because he isn't actually playing in this year's version of the league, but he had an Amazon team, so obviously tackle was relevant, and there were a couple of Lizardman teams as well with Skinks aplenty. So I think I was concentrating on tackle, getting some tackle around the place first. But right now, it's just a lot of elves who have very little going for them except their agility. Whereas you seem to have plenty of block and things. I started shaky with this team.
Yeah, I think I've, at this point, got 2 players who've leveled up and gotten block, plus the 2 blitzers who I started with. And Orpheus has wrestle.
Okay, so as it stands, I've marked up, which I probably still haven't learned is useless against your guys. I've marked up Orpheus and Mercury.
Yeah, well, I mean, it still means that they'll have to dodge.
Yeah, it's just the idea in my head is that they're not going to catch the ball, but
the Nerves of Steel is. Pro Elf catchers are the best catchers in the game because they have Nerves of Steel.
Yeah, it's just because it's a passing skill. It's just harder for everyone else to get it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. I was like, oh, they're not that good. They're just strong, and also they're strength 3. They're high movement with strength 3. Which just I'm straight up jealous of your catches. I'll be honest. Plus you get 4. Well, you get 4 of them. I suppose I can get 4 of mine, but mine is strength 2 and have dodge instead of Nerves of Steel, which yours could just take on a regular skill up. Yeah. If they want it.
Yeah, and indeed, I think dodge was the first skill I gave to all my catchers.
Really? I thought so. Did you not build one into sort of the wrestle, shackle, strip, ball guy first?
I still gave him dodge first.
Okay, it was just for manoeuvrability
and then
purposes.
it was. Actually, no. There was one who, I think his first skill up was a double.
I love how we're talking about the history of our teams that has not yet happened.
Yes, the future history. And clearly at this point, I was like, well, I could drag this out for longer very easily, but I'm bored.
That, and also there was son of a birch waiting in the backfield just wanting an extra shot at one of your guys if they weren't properly protected. Yeah. So I think had you not... If you were hanging around longer, you'd have had to have kept it in the cage rather than giving it to a catcher?
Yeah, well, yes, obviously.
So,
but I could have kept it in the cage.
But all in all, success. What's that? A 3-turn touchdown for your elf team.
Yeah.
You knocked out one and surfed one and injured one of mine.
Yep.
I can't remember doing anything to yours, so things seem to be going your way so far.
Yep. And so, now obviously I'm sticking my unskilled linemen on the line.
And
including my journeyman with the weird name, Kael'Lelion from Glenass.
I remember him. He was my favourite. I can't even remember why, but have we commentated a match before where he's been involved?
No. We were on voice chat during this game.
Ah, okay. I can't even remember what, but Kael'Lelion was my favourite. He's the man with the most the elf with the most L's in Hollywood? I don't know. Wherever this is. Okay. So, we're essentially adopting practically identical defences.
Yeah, that's comparable. Oh, no,
You're doing something.
Okay, I'm putting one of my blitzers on the front line because he has guard. And also block and sidestep.
Yeah, I don't like your guarding sidesteppers. They're annoying.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna...
Well, just the sidestep can be frustrating enough, but then the fact that they both rolled doubles for their first skills.
Yeah, I seem to remember that, like, more than once, while facing your team, I've tried to push your sidesteppers, like crowd surf them when I couldn't have achieved it, or gone to great lengths to try and do so.
Yeah.
And failing on the way, even when they had sidestep. This is, something I now check for before I start making all these elaborate plans of how many people I have to block off potential push spots to before I can surf people. So do they have sidestep? Is all this thinking going to be for naught?
Yeah.
I mean, we might be about to witness a play like that right now. Who knows? I doubt it.
Yeah, so obviously my defense is very simple, just keeping guys far enough back that they can run back to deal with anyone you just run past my guys. Generally spreading tackle zones around. The only potential clear line is if you knock over all of the front line, then there's a line down the middle. But then I kind of want you to go there because then my entire team
can converge. Okay, now stop sapling my strength. I feel like he could be...
Yeah, he might be my guard.
Yeah. Okay, well that makes sense. I've put guard v guard, and then I'm just going to knock out the edges first, hopefully. Assuming that works. Fairly aggressive stance for me. I mean, I should probably have put them one square forward.
Yeah.
But I'm always worried about having to then, you get an extra reroll. Excellent. That's what we need. I'm always worried about putting them on the front line in case, you can perfectly defensive put everybody in... Oh, that's gone out. In case you perfectly defense and put everybody base to base with me. And I usually would rather not... I know it's just a bunch of free blocks you can take then if you're careful about it. But I'd usually rather not have to make that many blocks. I'd rather break my way through at a strategic point. And then it would just end up being a bunch of dodges I'd have to make. So I suppose it depends mostly on the team I'm facing, whether I'd put my team up on the front line or not. If they have plenty of guard and stuff, it's just not worth it. I suppose when I'm looking at the formation you've got going as well, I'm looking there's a line through the middle, maybe that's the way to go. I'm assuming Woodsman Chopper had block? Yeah. Otherwise that would not have worked. I'm thinking about things. I'm probably thinking whether it's worth doing limbs still attached first, or if it's... okay. Sidestep.
Yeah. So I do still want him
In the
back with my other players, obstructing your potential route down the middle of the pitch, and also able to get up and catch up to it. Whereas under other circumstances, I could have sidestepped him into the square just above Cannon as we look at it.
Yeah.
So then when he stood up, he'd be annoying again.
I was thinking hard about that and eventually made the correct decision. Oh, unless I'm...
That looks like I was probably counting some squares, but I don't know which ones.
Well, it looks like you're counting squares through your guys and then off down. I'm making a cage, it seems.
Yeah.
So I'm going to run that ball forward. And who's running through the hole, though? Is anybody running through the hole? Please tell me someone's running through the hole. Somebody might not be running through the hole. I might be too scared to run through that hole. Mercury and Adagio look pretty scary, I guess. Do you remember what they had at this point?
Mercury has catch and nerves of steel.
Scary. Definitely scary. That's almost like you hear people who quail at like Claw and Mighty Blow piling on, they run screaming from nerves of steel. They absolutely hate it. Okay. I might be just trying to throw a quick pass to Son of a Birch. If I don't do it now, then everything I've done so far makes very little sense. Yeah, I got a star player point. Well, it's in the hands of a War Dancer, which is probably what I want since they're lodging. Yeah. That's probably why I've done that. I'm surprised I haven't run through anybody yet. Like, that would... Like, even just to be a bit of a threat. But, nope. Yeah. I'm letting you close ranks, apparently.
Yeah. The conservative option.
Yeah, I feel the conservative option is not yeah, it's not fun point enough. It's just not gonna it's not gonna impress anybody.
Yeah. Definitely not what I would want my team to be doing. They're supposed to be the virtuosos.
Oh, what? This is
this is going well for me in terms of injuries.
Yeah. This is the problem with... Well, I suppose I am armour 7 across the board, whereas you have at least a few bits of armour 8, right?
I have 2 bits of armour 8.
Okay, so maybe I could be doing better on the injury front. Yeah, if I had more people in the backfield, you might have been persuaded to hit them instead.
Possibly, but not necessarily. Because, as I said, it's kind of how I play this team. I just go straight for the ball. And then it ends up, hopefully, as the choice of either, you can pass it to your scoring threat, but then you'll just have to score. Or you can leave it where it is, and I'll maybe take it away from you. So trying to give the choice of score now or not at all. Because score now involves giving the ball back to me. Kicking again.
I am currently... See, look, you've advanced further into my half than I have into yours.
Yep.
I'm currently planning on then taking some dump off now that you've told me all this. I'm gonna emulate DA and just get myself a really annoying thrower who's a runner.
Okay. Yeah. Good luck with that. I definitely will not intercept those dump offs.
Never. You won't have a chance.
Nor will you fail them due to the tackle zones on you.
Nerves of steel. It's fine. It's fine. I don't need regulars for those. I think my throw is only level 6 already or something.
Definitely not level 6 already. There are 2 level 6 players in the whole league.
And one of them a vampire?
Yeah.
He needs to die. Like,
Well, he already did.
Shishnafe, it's one of his vampires, and I seem to remember he's a bit of a nightmare, but I can't remember exactly what skills he's got. But given that he started at Strength 4 Agility 4, it's not going to end well.
Yeah.
I think I've actually got to play him in a couple of matches, so...
I have to play him next.
Oh, excellent. You get to soften him up for me.
Okay. I could say there can only be one level 6 player, but then that would encourage him to kill mine. So, maybe not.
Which one is the one of yours that has reached level 6?
Oh, I can't say that. That would be spoilers. Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a spoiler. It's going to be one of his bloody catches. Oh, sorry.
The viewers might think...
You might need to put a beep in there.
The viewers might think that the catcher in question could die in any of the videos between now and then.
Hold on. Do I not kill a catcher or maim a catcher of yours soon? Does that not happen in this match?
No.
It happens in a match, surely. I feel like I should be aiming for your catches. Okay, so you've made inroads into my cage. I am desperately trying to run miles and
because
take people out.
You knocked over Mars and then hit Tristan, so he sidestepped back in. And now he's just going to go straight back out. So... the two blitzers are down, but their prone bodies are still blocking your way.
Yeah, this could be better. Okay, well, I'm pushing, but I'm not pushing anywhere I want it to go. The ball's not going to be free. That's for sure.
So this is very much...
Oh no, there it is. I was going to say, I was looking for my other war dancer, but it's directly in front of Son of a Bitch.
Yeah.
So all the names are covering up the bright red hair.
Yeah, so this is very much what I wanted. You're just very boxed in.
Not making much progress either.
Yeah, so if you want to try and get out of this, it's likely to be risky and possibly involve...
Reroll or not to reroll? Reroll or not? You already know the choice you're making. you're just unsure of the choice you're making.
So any attempt by you to really advance the ball at this point is likely to be risky and then leave not that many players around the ball, so I'd have a better chance of taking it away from you.
I'm just looking there. I think I only have 9 players on the pitch because of assorted injuries and not having that many to begin with.
Yeah.
As opposed to your... I think you must still have an 11, right?
Probably.
Were you just hoping there that you hadn't blitzed already?
Yeah, I may have forgotten that I'd already blitzed.
Just wishful thinking.
Yeah.
It's interesting, you can always kind of see your thought process at the time by where your mouse is moving.
Well, yeah, this is why I record my matches at the time and commentate them after the fact rather than recording the replay while I'm commentating it, because I can see my mouse movements and deduce what I was thinking.
Yeah, I find it kind of interesting though when you do go from a replay and you can't see the mouse movements, you kind of sort of, depending on, like, you get to see how close your thinking is now to what your thinking was then. Like, how would I play this if I had to play it again? Because we've had time to forget everything that happened here, more or less. And then we get to see, well, like, right now I'm thinking that the weak spot here, if I can create it, is that Tristan and Mars can be hit and then people can run through the middle. But you might be about to do stuff with Canon, Adagio, and whatever his name is. Aeolian, thank you. See, I go for clear names, like Get in the Trunk, or Bite Western Bark. You're all Adagio and Aeolian and Kelaleleleon. How can anyone say any of these names?
Did you never study music theory, honestly?
No, never. I studied what you studied, maths.
I did A-level music. This is where I've heard of Locrian and Aeolian, although also from Wikipedia. I had to use Wikipedia so I could remember them, but I came across them in A-level music.
Okay, so I'm in a bit of a sticky situation here.
Yeah.
Orpheus has got a tackle zone on the ball carrier.
I think you're going to move your guys over towards the right.
I feel like that is the place where... I mean, if I can't break a hole down the middle, that is the place with the most
also, I have
freedom.
A distinct recollection of your guys being over towards the right within a couple of turns.
I'm sort of clearing some paths.
Because I remember roughly how this drive ends.
I'm hoping with a phenomenal score for me and all of your players in the injury box. Unlikely, but that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, so I mean, you've done this pretty well. You've gotten Petrushka out of the way, so you can just
blitz,
dodge with something. Okay, you can
that's
do a standing start blitz instead. But alternatively, you could have just dodged, whereas otherwise you would have been dodging into a tackle zone, or you could have leaped.
While I enjoy leaping as a thing, I try to avoid it because the more I leap, the more chances I have of leap failing, and it's sort of one of those things I want to only do if the benefits outweigh the risks.
Yeah. And it's also actually the leap was always going to be less likely to work than the dodge, because even dodging into one tackle zone, that's still the same dice roll, and you have an automatic reroll for the dodge.
Yeah, and I think I'm probably just working out exactly where I can get to.
Yeah.
And apparently I've decided I can get one square forward.
That 8 movement, it's
doing me good. Surely I'm going further than that.
2 squares?
But that wasn't forward. That was to the side. Nope. I've gone forward and to the side 1 square. Okay. I've done some dodging with somebody else who has dodge. Which is nice.
Apparently, Son of a Birch is not so much a war dancer as a knight. You've just done a knight's move in chess.
Or potentially some sort of... less of a war dancer, more of a lion dancer? Because the cowardly... No, I'm not going anywhere with this. There was Wizard of Oz and Cowardly Lion, but it's not going anywhere.
Much like the war dancer. It's not going anywhere.
I'm not sure what a call-in's going to do here. Yeah. Maybe throw a 1 dice block later on. Nope, going to try and dodge with Loner and fail.
I'm looking at this and thinking it doesn't look so great to me. Your position doesn't look so great to me.
It looks bloody terrible. I keep swearing, I'm sorry. I'm watching a game which is going horribly.
Because I can do what I'm about to do. Get a 2 dice here.
When you have block and I do not, but it's not quite what you want, I think, because that doesn't allow you such easy access.
Yeah, although the thing is, actually looking at it, I was never going to have that easy access because my own players were going to end up in the way. However, I did it. Which is why, so I've actually gone for the push just to get the tackle zone on the ball carrier rather than... right, yes, I can come around from this side, and of course Tristan has guard. And there we go. The ball is knocked loose, and this is exactly the sort of stuff that I was playing for.
Ugh. This is horrible. This is how you break cages, people. Don't let it happen to you. It's not pretty.
And I'm even going to follow up, which I usually wouldn't do in circumstances like that, because I'm a bit scared of being in the middle of 4 enemy players.
Yeah, but these ones are cowards. They don't hit you. They just sort of mill about in the centre of the field for a while and hope that nothing bad will happen. Then your team descends upon them. Okay, well, a call-in has been nothing but a burden on my team. I feel you should foul him off the place. And that will doubtless be better for me. Because then you can't fail dodges and turn me over. So you're probably going to put some tackle zones on there. And then maybe try to pick it up if you're feeling brave.
Yep.
Hey. Oh no, I was going to say you haven't blitzed it, but you have blitzed yet.
Yeah.
That's how you got the ball loose. So you're just going to mark up that war dancer, as well as putting tackle zones on the ball.
Yep. Particularly since Mars has guard. Or Okay, I'm going to go to the other side of the war dancer. Not entirely sure. But in some ways, I prefer him over there. But I think that's partly because I find it more aesthetically pleasing.
What, the 2 and
Whereas,
the 2?
Although actually,
Canon
I was
Tristan
thinking
versus...
that maybe.
Here we go. Failure. Still a failure. Oh, so here's where it gets tempting.
I possibly should have run in like at least one more guy there.
So here, see, this is how close I am to my old thinking. I want to just leap onto that ball. And I feel I remember this moment.
Yes!
Because I've been pussyfooting around for so long, and I ended up thinking about this for a while, thinking about options, and then saying something over voice chat, which I shouldn't repeat on a video that children might want to watch, but I was just to the effect of, oh, to hell with it. And then only involving more words beginning with the letter F, and then just leapt onto that ball and ran away.
Which
brave, Sir who? Sir Bite Worse Than Bark. Sir Bite Worse Than Bark ran away.
And yeah, this is why I definitely should have moved at least one more guy in, because then I would have.
This is how long I thought about it for, though. Look at
yeah.
Here we go. Had to re-roll the leap, but not the pickup. And then ran, and then ran.
Yeah. You can't get out of range of my players.
So instead I'm just running around some of my players to get in the way.
Yeah. But, I mean, war dancers have blodge, so it's going to be difficult to knock them over. I'm obviously counting out some movement there.
Yeah. You're like, oh, he's made inroads! No! It was looking so well! Yeah, so at the minute I'm scrambling. Let's be honest. This is desperation manoeuvres. I'm not safe by any stretch of the imagination. I've just had to clutch at what straws were available to me to try and make something of my own drive. This is one of many reasons why I ended up with the conclusion for the match, which I ended up having, which we'll probably talk about as we get to the end of the match.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm counting to see if I can make the blitz with Orpheus.
Because he has wrestle?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
And you've actually just helped me by pushing him closer. Obviously, if you'd knocked him over, it would have been better.
How was I to know?
But, yeah.
I didn't know how much you loved wrestle. He ends up getting strip ball and stuff, doesn't he? He's your ball retriever.
Yeah, it's... Well, I remember you weren't...
Well, that didn't work.
You weren't really expecting my catcher to be the one doing a lot of the blitzing. But of course, it's recommended by bbtactics.com, but it makes perfect sense that the catchers, they already have catch and nerves of steel, which is all they really need for catching. And so building them into blitzers instead, it makes a lot of sense because they also they have lots of movement. So
making sure by clicking the blitz button.
Well, no, okay. I was wondering if maybe I was going to see if I had to use my dodge reroll and if not, do a slightly different move into the blitz, but no, just that. Yes, they have movement, which is good for making them blitzers, and they don't start with block, which means you can give them wrestle.
Well, I mean, you can give a blocker wrestle. It just feels like a bit of a waste.
Yeah, which is why generally sort of, what's the term? Safeties, I think, is the term, who are basically there to knock over whoever has the ball, tend to end up on a lot of teams being linemen because they don't start with any skills, so you can just give them wrestle without it being a waste of having block and wrestle on the same guy. Yeah. Yeah. And blitzers take different routes, but in this case, the catchers are strength 3. They have the movement, and they're already good enough at catching. Like they're already better at being catchers than a lot of developed catchers So
Yeah, it makes. I suppose when you think about it that way, I'm then facing a team with 4 good catchers and 6 good blitzers, of which there is an overlap of 4 players.
yeah. And the rest of the team are also pretty good catchers because they're elves.
Yeah, but I've got that as well. So
Yeah.
I'm not fussed about that.
So
Now I'm just wondering who you're going to take that ball with, because my War Dancer is not stunned.
Yeah. Well, of course, I do remember how this turns out, and I'm not so sure about this. I would have thought I'd send Mercury down towards the ball because he has the movement to get to it.
Well, he does not. He's been moved.
Adagio can also get somewhere near it. Yeah, if I send Mercury into your half, then I think that's a case of me actually being a bit too keen to be aggressive at all times. When really I should make the ball safe. Because I don't have it yet. Yeah, this is the better play. Alternatively, I could try to pick it up.
Or alternatively, foul my War Dancer. Okay, you're going for it twice with Adagio. Okay.
Yeah, because obviously I figured I'd go for the play with Mercury first, because then at least there would be... I didn't need to make any dice rolls for that, and then at least there would be a tackle zone on the ball there. Well,
I don't remember how this actually ends out.
I do.
I think I remember what ends up coming from it, but I don't remember what actually happened.
Now, from looking at that, actually... Obviously, I was never considering throwing the pass over there, but I'm now wondering if maybe that might not have been a good idea. Maybe not throwing it over to Kayla Lelion, but throwing a pass somewhere just to get the ball away from the War Dancer, and then you would have had to retrieve it and get it somewhere.
Oh wow!
else.
I just go for
yeah.
I go for the 2 dice your choice block.
I believe it was the exact same 2-word phrase that you used last turn, because there wasn't much else you could do.
I wish I had. Oh no!
You could have maybe brought round Get in the Trunk to try and cancel out assists, except for Mars has guard, so it was always going to be 2 red dice.
I was thinking about dodging out and then dodging into 1 tackle zone and making it a 1 dice block.
Yeah, that you could have done. And you could have brought Get in the Trunk around to be an assist and make it 2 dice. But
so, long story short, I rode my luck pretty hard to get that touchdown.
Yeah, I absolutely thought that was safe, and I was going to possibly get a touchdown of my own out of it.
2 dice your choice. Choose it. Down or down. Yeah.
I mean, I also remember thinking that I thought afterwards maybe I shouldn't actually have tried to pick up the ball.
Was that half time, by the way?
No, I think I still have 1 turn left.
Okay, did I go first this half? No, you went first.
Yeah.
So I should have the last turn, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Maybe 1 turn each left then. Okay.
Yeah.
See how I didn't feel like delaying for 1 more turn. I felt you were threatening me more than enough.
Just a bit. I remember I thought maybe instead of picking up the ball with Adagio, maybe I should have just left him next to it.
Force me to pick up in 3 tackle zones.
Yeah, or, you could have done the same blitz and made it only 2 tackle zones.
But it wouldn't have been a ball sat on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the ball scattered in a lucky way, and I got lucky on the block.
I think that's always a potential consideration, though, is that they're hurting. You potentially want to... Because putting tackle zones on the ball means it's definitely going to be difficult to pick up unless you can push guys into it to scatter it. Whereas if someone actually picks it up, then there's just that 1 target, and it may well scatter somewhere favourable. And at this point, clearly I had not thought, I could attempt a 1-turn touchdown.
Yeah, it's end of the half, end of the game is when that should always be a thought. But I suppose you've got your movement ups now, so it's easier. I suppose.
No, mate. What was I thinking of it? I might have been thinking of it because it's potentially easier for me because
you've got sidestep.
Yeah, I might be going to just planning to just push someone into Tristan. For it.
Yeah. No.
Or I may have just
not thought about it because it wasn't the end of the game. Yeah. Now you've had movement ups. It's not that out of the question for. It's even easier for you to one turn now.
Yeah. I've yet to manage it, but I've tried it several times.
Yeah, same.
And now I'm doing well on the injuries again.
Yeah, I'm just. I think it's I have no skills. I'm completely undefensive against you. Just taking my team off the pitch. I started with 9 players this time. There's just blood everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're going to try for a glory pass of some sort.
Yeah.
And
run my catcher down just to make it more likely to work.
Yeah. Okay. I was saying because what is a Leon?
Lineman.
Okay. He's there in case of a scatter. Dagio's a lineman as well.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, I just figured, well, I may as well run a catcher down there, so I have the reroll on the catch.
Get some star player points. Yeah. And given that you failed the pickup, there's as few rerolls needed, as few problems as possible. Oh, I see we're playing in my home field because there are all trees across the touchdown now.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get some sort of injury here. I didn't get it, so I'm guessing I'm going to just call it there. Yeah. When I was player down, if I'm players down, I'm probably not going to be fouling. It's just not worth it. Do you remember what the inducements were like for this match?
I assume they will have been that our team values will have been pretty even. You had 1 Bloodweiser Babe. So that was probably all of the inducements.
Yeah.
1 Bloodweiser Babe.
If it was much more, I probably would have had 2 Bloodweiser Babes.
Yeah.
Because I really like that inducement. They, for Armour 7 teams, they're just really good.
Well, I mean, with the way this match has been going,
an extra crossbow might not have hurt.
the Bloodweiser Babes definitely
pulling their way to
useful.
I
suppose having the second one wouldn't have made a difference to a call in there, but in general,
they're just good.
I've caused a few knockouts. So
I have not yet taken Bloodweiser Babes for an inducement and lived to regret it. They're always useful. My Armour 7 gets broken, it happens. I try and minimise it, but it happens, and then most, unless I'm really unlucky, knockouts is going to happen. And
if I'm playing any kind of elves, then Bloodweiser Babes are amazing. For my Nurgle team in the Legacy League, I ignore them a lot more of the time because I figure, I have decent armour and decent strength and foul appearance. I'm not going to have that many players knocked out.
Yeah.
Under most circumstances, so other inducements can be more worthwhile in those circumstances.
It looks like I'm down to 8 players now.
Yep, so obviously I'm
feeling pretty good about this.
Yeah, 3 players up. I obviously think that this is pretty good. Can never count out elves.
Yeah, I am about to receive, I suppose. But last time I received, I got bogged down in the centre of the pitch and I had to ride my luck a bit to
now
get
you have less players to do it with.
Yep. Trying to edge your ball one way or another.
Yeah.
Quick snap, okay. Not sure where I'm going to move people, if I'm going to move people. Probably, inwards and forwards just to get them that little bit closer to the central hole.
Yeah.
Maybe the guy in the back.
I do remember obviously at this point in my team's development, I will have been really wishing for a guy with kick.
Well,
Because
that didn't scatter hardly at all, so it was like you had a guy with kick. I had a guy with kick and enjoyed having him for quite a while, and then he became useless. Either he got a niggle or an armor down or something that, or whatever it was, he became useless to me.
Well, I mean,
he might have died. He might have straight up died, and he is now gone.
I've forgotten what happened to mine.
Oh, is he gone too?
I immediately replaced him.
Oh, have you got somebody else with kick now?
Yeah.
Okay. I have yet to replace my kicker. I'm currently just letting fate decide where the ball ends up.
Yeah. It's always just so helpful being able to accurately aim for a certain sort of... I guess it's pretty much... You can aim for like a certain quadrant of the opposing half. Because there's always the possibility it could scatter in any direction. So it works out to about a quarter of a half.
Yeah, like it's a very underrated skill. People don't pick it up nearly enough or early enough. I am currently underrating it right now by not picking it up. But I've had better options. Let's just put it that way, and I mean, I will pick it up quickly.
It varies depending on the team. The elves, because you have that agility, you can do so much with. Potentially, a lot of the time, it'll be kicking close. So then
you can take full advantage of a blitz or something.
Or if
if
they fail to pick it up, or if they just double skull an early block when they haven't even tried to pick it up, you can just run straight in and take it. Or if you have guys with leap, which you obviously do, being wood elves.
You mean you don't?
Well.
You
I do
now. You didn't start with them?
I didn't at this point.
I thought all teams got some leapers, just to keep it fair.
That's exclusively Wood Elf BS.
Your brand is just Nerves of Steel, it's fine. Okay, so I've been a little bit more offensive this time round. I've run a couple of players at least into your half, made some threatening movements while still caging up to try and keep the ball as safe as as safe as it's going to be, while keeping it
as safe as elvenly possible.
Yeah. Given that I don't have an actual thrower yet, I've kept I'm moving the ball forward so that any passing I'm doing isn't going to be too far.
Yeah.
So it seems reasonable. It seems better than before. I've started to make inroads into your half, which is something.
Yes, what I was saying. Excellent. War dancer down. I can push him into the ball. I seem to recall. This may even have been the most recent time that I played you. There was a kick which landed fairly close to the front, and I was like, "That's worrying that someone on the enemy team could just run in and take that." So I ended up picking it up and then passing it backwards,
just to get it out
to get it out of your movement range. If it was you, which I think it may well have been.
We've played each other a few times now, and the results have been fairly consistent to me. Like, I feel like this is possibly one of my worst showings. I'm not totally sure, but I always worry when I'm coming up to face you. You're like, I straight up know that you know what you're doing. Everybody else, I have feelings like they know what they're doing, but some people I've just straight never played before, or just they're playing teams that I find it more comfortable to play against, or I've played them before and they're just not quite as tactically sound as you. Like, I consider myself not as tactically sound as you. So I mean that as no discourtesy to anybody else, but whenever I'm about to play you, I get like really nervous and start thinking about things, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Oh my god, how am I going to get this done? And stuff like that. And so whenever things go my way or things go well, I'm always very satisfied with that.
Yeah. So here, obviously, I've managed to hem in pretty much all your guys, making use of my numbers advantage.
Yeah. You could probably have been a bit more annoying with Complex Sonora, I think. Like, he could have maybe stood to be up against my war dancers and root it out of you.
Yeah, possibly, but it was just covering all those potential lines down the middle of the pitch for if Tristan gets knocked over.
Yeah, I see. Although if Tristan's knocked over, Cannon's still there, and if Complex Sonora...
Well, yeah, but on the other side. Also, with Complex being where he is, it's more difficult if Rooted Out of You or Bite Worse Than Bark want to dodge out that way.
I was just thinking it would be more complicated for Bite Worse Than Bark to attack somebody if Complex Sonora was, say, next to the right-hand side of Aeolian. No, it's Lucretian, is it?
Locrian.
Okay. Finally, something happened to you.
Yeah, that's obviously annoying for me. There, of course, you can see I deliberately sidestepped that way so that you wouldn't feel entirely secure leaving the ball carrier there, because he'd be right next to a guy who could just stand up and hit him.
It was not
but now
to be...
he's not, because Mars is in the knockout box.
But I've used my blitz.
Yep.
So...
And yeah, you're still fairly hemmed in.
Oh, yeah.
So this is still looking pretty good to me.
There's definite potential there for you to get to my ball carrier.
Stop sappling my strength. I can obviously move in a guy to assist, hit him with Tristan, and then have a guard assist on the ball carrier.
Yeah, so now I'm taking some 1-dice blocks to... I don't know if this improves matters much. I would have thought I'd have pushed it away from Bite Worse Than Bark. I'm probably eventually thinking of handing it off or something to Bite Worse Than Bark to... Not in this turn, but to try and do something. Okay, well, they're making some progress up the pitch. It's fair. I could stand to have less people in touch with my cage, but it's not the end of the level. There's a few elves around there. I'm still feeling better about...
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a little sceptical about that. I could maybe have done with a bit more defence on the backside of Take a Bow.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling better about this just because I'm making definitive sort of moves into your half, rather than last time where I was sort of, dabbling around the place. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I see what I'm doing.
He wasn't particularly safe where he was, so it makes a certain amount of sense. And now, I mean,
there's less of your players
would have to dodge
things.
into a tackle zone, which he can do. He is an elf, but doesn't have dodge.
It's certainly interesting. I wish I had the numbers on them, because I know that numbers 13 and 14 of mine have tackle, and I don't know if they have it yet. I don't even know if Get in the Truck is one.
I'm pretty sure they don't at this point.
They probably don't even have block yet.
No.
Okay, that's just to make life harder for Locrian. Yeah. Let's move on to Lucretian again. Okay. Well, that's not the end of the world. It's interesting. Your guys are a little bit further away than they should be.
Yeah, I've got possibly a difficult time if I want to run around to actually blitz Take a Bow, though. Okay, I'm just going to cover that line. Take a Bow is not in scoring range. That's a relevant point.
I believe Bite Worse Than Bark is, though.
Yes.
I think Bite Worse Than Bark might only need one go for it.
But then... perhaps the idea is I blitz Bite Worse Than Bark, knowing that then if he's knocked over, you can't score.
Oh yeah, that seems fair.
And it's a lot easier to get to him than to Take a Bow.
How many squares in is Take a Bow?
I could be doing this. That also works, yes. Because Locrian is the one guy who's close enough. If I just forego using him to block.
Well, since you have to dodge anyway, you may as well get Mercury doing something. I think dodging into a tackle zone.
I think the point is that if Locrian does this blitz, then
Does he
if
have
I just
wrestling
push,
skill?
no, if he has block.
And I'm guessing that
but
my guy
then
does
if-
not.
But then if he just pushes take a bow, then I could potentially have another go by having Mercury block.
Yeah, and then a third go by... Oh no, he's gone. Yeah. Well, let's see how it turns out. This could be interesting. That's interesting. Do you usually do that? Oh, it's just to see how the thing goes first. Okay.
To see if I've had to use a reroll somewhere. There you go.
Ball's loose. And it's in your hands, but it's in the hands of somebody who has already acted, which is potentially problematic for you.
Yeah, now I'm looking at this and thinking Mercury can do that. I was thinking of exactly that move.
So
my
be glad your brain
not,
still works the same.
Yep, my perspective has not changed that much in the season also since this game was played.
My perspective is that I really need that ball.
Yeah.
It's my drive. I want that ball back.
Yeah. So
My
I mean,
ball.
obviously, I have to, to be playing Wood Elves, I have to focus on War Dancers.
So
It's the big threat. So, hence the positioning of Mercury and Cannon and hitting Son of a Bitch.
it looks like I want to
Pushing
leap,
him further.
dodge, walk back in, hit complex Sonora with a 1 dice block.
Yeah.
That looks to me like what I do right now. What you're doing is checking out how many players I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, Bite Worse Than Bark wants to leap like a knight and then dodge out.
Yes.
If we're gonna... That's just what
This
they are.
isn't Blood Bowl, it's just chess.
Well, if I describe it to people who've never heard of it before, I describe it as American football mixed with chess. And if I ever describe American football to people, I describe it as rugby mixed with chess. So, there's a further step along the chess ladder. Eventually, we'll just get an online league going of chess. Okay, maybe I'm making some sort of safety moves first. I'm not sure I really need to. Oh, hello. Nope, I have not done what I thought I was going to do. Instead, I've done nothing. I want to say you should just score a touchdown now, because
Yeah.
this seems like what you do.
Yeah.
Unless, even if I put
feel
tackle
like that
zones on
may
that
well
guy in the
be
backfield,
what I
it's
do.
not gonna hamper you too much.
In fact, I have a feeling I know how I'm going to score this touchdown. Because I think I might...
Okay. Well, that turned out better for me.
Okay, Leleleon.
That might have been where I was cheering about.
Yeah. I think what I'm going to do is hand off the ball to Mercury, who can catch it just fine because of Nose of Steel, and then he could dodge out and
No,
okay.
you're not doing that at all. You're giving it to somebody completely different, who's going to run to the
he
right.
doesn't need to dodge, so that's the thing. And yeah, okay, and then he's going to throw a point-blank pass to Orpheus, who can then
He's going to run to the right.
Yeah,
A long way.
completely out of your reach. Yes, I remember because I do actually.
You could have
I
been
do
on the sideline
actually
for it.
try to kill the clock at this point. It's just a habit that I don't go on the sidelines ever. Even when I'm.
I was going to say, arguably, it might be safer.
Unless I've actually counted it to the point where it's like I know.
That would have been safer to go on the
Yeah.
sidelines.
But then I can do this.
Hem him in quite
and
badly.
Blitz him.
Oh, I didn't even realise you had a blitz left. This is worse than I thought.
Yeah, well, yeah, because all I did was move and hand off the ball. Did all the ball stuff first.
Oh yeah, this is
so
stretching.
that was all the really important stuff.
Yeah, I clearly didn't have anyone in the backfield waiting.
And so now I'm going to do the riskier bit. Well, move this guy, and I'm going to do some riskier bits. I remember which. I wouldn't be that broken up if they didn't work, but if they do, then my position will be safer. Yes, I have a chain push here, which I might take. So I could push Bite Worse Than Bark into the prone, take a bow.
Into Woodsman Chopper to put him on the sideline?
No, into Locrian to put
him
him on the sideline, where he will
Woodsman
have to
Chopper is?
make one less
Okay.
dodge through a tackle zone. This is one of those riskier things that I was talking about. Out.
If it doesn't
This
work,
makes
it really doesn't
less-
matter.
Yeah.
Going through 2 tackle zones would be interesting. Was that just the auto
Yeah.
popping, going a bit crazy? Keeping a tackle zone on the nearest guy. I'm assuming that...
Might be better to just leave Locrian there to head in Woodsman and Son of a Birch.
I was going to say, does Son of a Birch have enough movement to get anywhere near? You're checking it. Only enough movement to get next to. I love how the same thought crossed our minds there, right there.
Yeah. And so, okay,
So now you're
these
just getting
guys
your
are
guys
just
out
heading
there.
over so that if you do get anyone over there, I have people ready to respond.
Yeah, so right now, what I've got to do is threaten your ball carrier. If I don't, you're just going to kill the clock forever, and I will not have any chance to... I just won't... I will lose.
Yeah.
If I don't threaten your ball carrier, you win. It's the simple answer. And waiting for you to score is not going to lead you to scoring, it'll lead you to kill the clock further. Unless you're feeling super aggressive and super cocky.
Which does happen sometimes.
I can't count on how you're feeling. I have to push this. Is it going to be... Yeah, I was thinking like an interesting blitz to open up that middle a bit.
I don't remember what the Petrushka chord is.
And is this as far as musical theory goes?
Yeah, well, that one I didn't
Ooh,
even...
another injury. I remember this part. Like, for some reason, stun, an injury, suddenly things started happening to your team, and I started pushing forward to come and threaten, and I think it got threatening enough that you jumped into the end zone.
And
Finally,
then that makes
injuries
things
started happening.
easier for you in the subsequent drive.
Did I not move like Worse Than Bark there, or did I just stand there?
I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention.
I'll tell you what's really a bit weird. When I'm looking at this, I'm trying to think of it from my point of view, but the tackle zones that are highlighted are my tackle zones. Yeah, things have gotten, maybe not quite threatening enough for you to run in. Yep.
Yeah.
You're delaying at least one more turn because you can.
Yeah.
But because I've started making moves towards you, I can at least,
Yeah,
it's...
I may well have been figuring pretty much just one more turn. But
Yeah, it's worth pointing out though to anybody, who's listening and plays and just concentrates on doing stuff down the other end of the pitch because they're like, I can't catch them. There's no point in trying to stop them. If you don't try, you're going to be in exactly the same position next turn. You have to make some moves towards their ball carrier. You have to threaten them, or they will not score. It's not in this situation. Like, if they're playing catch up, things might be a slight bit different. But right now, there is no incentive for PocketWraith to score. It's just not what he's going to do unless I force him to.
Yeah, because if you just go, I can't do anything, then I can just stand there for another 3 turns and then win 2-1.
That is something I definitely do not want. I've been thinking about and worrying about this game for far too long to let it slip out of my hands in a 2-1 that I don't even try to prevent. So you're boxing me off. You're pushing me back and putting me further from your ball carrier. Although not completely out of the way. Sort of, you've shunted me back a bit. Not that far. So I got an injury last turn. I'm still in contact with some of your guys this turn.
Yeah.
I see one that's looking
scenarios.
right on the sideline.
Yeah.
So that looks to be something.
Debatably, his positioning may have been questionable. Because like where I put him was reasonable. If I wasn't then going to hit to take a bow.
Okay, and he's gone. And he's knocked out as well. So I'm making it worse and worse idea for you to stick around. I'm getting some injuries going on. Hopefully I continue running Bite Worse Than Bark up the pitch to keep threatening.
It's the first time I've ever really looked, and I find it kind of weird that the crowd who come in and beat up the player who's been pushed off the side of the pitch at a Wood Elf versus Pro Elf game include a Beastman, a Human, and an Orc.
Do you know what? It's not so much the Pro Elves that they're there to see, it's more the Wood Elves. Because the Wood Elves just have a beauty and a simplicity to their game that draws all species together. I mean, if you ask every player in our league, I bet they'll all say the only reason they're actually playing in the league is because they wanted to have a chance at facing Team Hippy. I mean, I've heard that said many times. I don't know about you. I'm a bit ashamed of myself. I feel like Bite Worse Than Bark had plenty of movement left and he could have made some inroads in towards running towards the ball carrier.
Yeah.
There was no reason for him to stick around where she was. He just did. And that seems silly to me. So were I to play that again, Bite Worse Than Bark should be... I think I was probably just chuffed at getting a knockout, to be honest. I was just like, yay, I've done that, now I'll do something else. Well, I didn't want that. Nope, that's not good. I've got rules though, right? Nah, I'm just going to take it. I should have probably moved the other board answer as well.
Yeah.
I felt like I made more inroads than this. I can reach you.
So, yeah, but
and I think the injuries are maybe getting to you, playing on your mind a bit. It's like, my team is getting decimated back here. You're thinking of, I thought you were thinking of throwing a pass back there.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna screw with him. I'm gonna throw the pass right back into where he is and then run it away again.
If I had a catcher back there, then I potentially could do that because they have the movement.
So yeah, because I haven't made enough of a threat on your team, you're still waiting for me to.
Yeah. I mean, of course, the thing is, debatably, it could be in some ways better for me to score quicker because then there are more turns remaining, so more of a chance that you'll take longer and I can take the ball away from you, or you'll score and then kick to me again.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for star player points,
Yeah.
if you're looking for straight points and the win, the way you're doing it is definitely better. You wanna kill that clock.
I don't know, because
but this is guaranteed.
if you force me, well, but the point is, if you force me to score at this point, then you can score and equalise, and I won't have a chance to take it back to a win. Whereas if I scored a couple of turns ago, then I could possibly force you to score quickly and then score again myself. Maybe it's it's
less
debatable.
certain. Than...
If I could hold on for another turn, then it would be definitely better.
I mean, I tend to think that while you're not in danger, like if you're not in danger of losing the touchdown that's about to put you in the lead, I would probably say you should hold off.
And to be honest, I suspect actually the fact I was taking injuries
played more into it.
Yeah, because I figured if I score now then I have less of a team to set up to defend, which will make it more difficult. So it's actually better if I can just hold off so it's not even possible.
Another injury. This one actually doing something. You got badly hurt though, that's okay.
So yeah, if I could hold off to the point where it would be not actually possible for you to
Son of a bitch needs to continue running up. I don't know why I keep not doing that. Like, I think I've gotten better at this. No, there we go. Yeah, I just started, for some reason my luck turned. I think I started causing injuries this drive. Or maybe I just had more opportunities, started causing them. And a mixture of that and threatening your ball carrier meant that this was going to be the turn you scored a touchdown. Maybe after taking a few shots at me. But,
well, no, I think here I'm just looking to try and figure out if there is a way that...
To hold off one more turn.
Yeah.
Not without it being
guys
risky.
in range enough to... Yeah. And so I'm thinking about this. To be honest, as I was doing this, I was probably, though obviously we can't see anything on my mouse movements, I was probably using my actual hands to just point at the screen and
move
count
stuff
things
around.
out. Just tapping on the squares. Very glad that I don't have a touch screen, because otherwise, if I was playing this on a touch screen, then I'd just be trying to figure things out and do it by accident and just accidentally move a bunch of players.
I didn't know you did that, because I don't do that. I sort of count with my mouse sometimes. It's not very effective, so I might actually try that and see if it works better.
I do count with my mouse sometimes, particularly because I know I'm recording videos, and so that will be visible on the video, but...
It's quite
particularly also if I'm thinking about...
Ooh, and none of your guys come back. That's good for me.
If I'm thinking about bits of positioning, then I may go kind of, okay, I'll put my thumb here, this player is here, and finger here, this player is here, another finger here, this player is here.
Yeah. A call-in. Was that one of yours or one of mine?
No, it's yours.
That's my guy. Okay, so my guy came back, and yours two didn't.
Yeah.
So it might be a 10 versus... What is it? 10 versus 7? Is that really what it is?
Yeah. Yes, you got that many injuries.
Well, hold on. It doesn't look like I've got 10 players on the pitch. 7, 8? I might have 8. I should have at least 9, surely. Unless you cause some more injuries.
I did cause a few injuries.
Yeah, yours have been building up slowly. For me, though, it was sort of all in that one drive, really.
Yeah.
Well, this is good, because, I mean, people know it's easier to score with fewer than it is to defend with fewer. Yeah. So this actually gives me a decent shot at a 2-turn where I've been sort of falling apart a bit before. So I guess we'll see. Now the question, where do I put the ball?
Yeah.
And really, without kick, it's just going to be,
that's the
where's
thing.
the ball land?
Well, that's the thing. Of course, if I had kick, I couldn't use it with the setup that I've gone with, because... I don't have a player who's not on the line of scrimmage or in a wide zone. But I imagine it will be a consideration of, do I just go for the safe option, kick to the middle of the pitch so I know it can't be a touchback, or do I kick further back and hope that I don't roll high for how far it scatters? Because I would prefer the ball to be as far away from my end zone as possible.
Yeah, just make my life as hard as possible.
So you have to potentially cover the length of the entire pitch in 2 turns.
Yeah. So here we have the bonus of setting up second, because I am, now there's a distinct lack of players on the pitch. Half your players are on the side of the pitch which I'm clearly not aiming at.
Yeah.
Whereas I can go, right, I'm going down, as I was at the time, but for us as we're looking at it now, let's say, I'm going down the right. And, you just got to deal with that.
Yeah.
And that gives me that extra turn of the 2 turns to hopefully have a numerical advantage on one side. Touchback, surely.
Yeah.
Which helps me, and I don't have to roll a pickup.
I remember afterwards saying maybe I should have set up my guys more sort of in the middle, so that then they could get to wherever you went. But then if the wide zones weren't covered, you could have just run everyone in on both sides. And
I clearly just gave the ball to a war dancer.
Yeah, which of course can potentially backfire, giving the ball to the guy you actually want to score, because then the enemy team can just hit that guy rather than there being a thrower with the ball out of range, and you have to hit a scoring threat and mark all the others.
Yeah. So now I'll be thinking about, what am I supposed to be doing? It looks like I might be thinking about doing the important stuff first. Which is wrong, because I should be doing the safe stuff first. Push and don't follow up, please. But keep him in the tackle zone of take about. Yep, okay. Then just run on through.
Well, I think definitely here I suppose the only safe, unimportant stuff you could do would be to
move the back two players.
Yeah, which I suppose that could be relevant, but yeah, so I'm looking at where Orpheus can actually get to, because with Wrestle he's my best chance of getting the ball off a War Dancer.
And I have made the probably uninformed thought, without thinking about Orpheus, I should have been thinking, get him on the sideline, that way he can't blitz me. But then that would have made me weaker towards Tristan or Mercury.
Tristan Hutton could just
push
dodge
me
out and crowd surf you, which is going to be, well, not
players
necessarily much better for me, but you can never predict where a throw-in will go, so there's every chance that it could go somewhere.
Hey, it's probably better than having a War Dancer with it on the sideline that close to your end zone.
Yeah. Yes.
But I've still got two players to run through, which can hopefully do a little bit of making life difficult.
There's the potential for a throw-in. Of course, potentially it could be thrown off the right, and then the throw-in could go off behind my end zone and then get thrown in again off the left, and it could end up back in your half. At which point you're definitely not getting that touchdown.
Okay, I've got some support there, which makes Orpheus a little less threatening, because now he'll be unless I suppose he can attack me from above.
Yeah,
to get a 1 dice still.
But I can't really get Tristan in as an assist, which I
and now I've made Orpheus's life a little more difficult because he has to dodge. That's not bad. Throw in 1 dice, push you away from the ball carrier, and follow up. Yeah, just to make life a bit annoying. A bit dodge in the middle of them. So now I've just made your life a little bit.
Okay, yeah. So Mark. No, actually, yeah. I just go straight for the blitz.
Dodge works.
Because marking the guy would make less sense.
Go for it fails.
To just
go for it. Second go for it fails. Right. Okay. So it ends up being that it was just a little bit too much dice that was needed, and the draw happens.
Yes.
Because if I do anything else, I'm an idiot.
As you were talking earlier about your reaction to the game, which, as I recall, was feeling that you won 2-2.
Yes, I won that game 2-2. It is possibly my fondest result of the season. The win I cherish the most. But I mean, in all honesty, I was one of the few people to force a draw out of you that season.
Yeah.
I came away with that 2-2 when I really shouldn't have. That touchdown. That was a fair touchdown. The first touchdown, that's some bullshit. So that game should have really been 2-1 to you, but it ended up 2-2. So I felt really good about that.
Yeah.
The fact that I've now got to take one more turn of being beaten up is a small price to pay.
And I'm counting to try and figure out if it's possible for me to do a 1-turn touchdown with 8 players.
And clearly, I'm hoping that it's possible to send 1 player on the line of scrimmage. I'm like, yep, go. Okay. Now, bringing my players close together, that's not good in helping you, because it helps you to 1 turn if they're too boxed up. It makes chain pushing for you easier. But as you said, you've tried it many times and it's not worked yet.
Yeah.
So we know how this is going to turn out.
Yes.
The question is just how it's going to turn out.
If I even try it, which I don't remember if I did I might just hit you.
Hit me and throw a pass.
Because it's a while before before I really look through. Yeah, I'm just going for the start player points here. I'm not trying for the one turn.
Yeah, recently in the thread it was mentioned that we'd played each other. Somebody suggested that we might have played each other the most of any two teams, and you quickly corrected it by saying that the Dokalfar Daggers and the Dark Stars had actually played each other more.
Yeah.
But I do feel that our two teams have come face to face a number of times.
Yeah.
It's become quite a highlight for me, at least, if a scary highlight. Where do I aim the ball? Probably dead centre, hoping to force you to pick up. Oh, something's happened, making it. It started raining.
Yeah.
That should help your glory pass. Picking up and catching are more hard. More hard? That's a terrible way to speak, Matthew. Stop it.
Talk proper England, like what I am doing when I am a children's.
Yeah, what, mate? Isn't that the Queen's? So are you getting any... Well, you're knocking over everybody, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It looks like so far there's been no star player points there for you. No blitzes. I think I'm out of range of your blitzing, aren't I?
Yeah.
And then just a star player points.
I saw myself checking the blitz range when I was setting up.
And you get one for that.
Yeah.
And then we're done.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry I beat you there.
We used pretty much no rerolls that half.
Because we're that good.
Oh yes, I'm going to foul your journeyman because he's a journeyman and it doesn't matter.
I might have wanted to hire him after the game. I didn't want to hire him after the game. I was just looking, I was like, never is he going for the foul. And I was like, of course he is. It's this guy who doesn't have a proper name. That cedar wood tree thing, and get sent off for it as well. Good. Yeah, I'm sorry that I beat you that way. It was it wasn't intentional, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
Who's your next game, or who's the next game? What's the next game you're commenting on? Do you remember?
It is my very next game against Shishnapni's Vampires. And, there we go. Dagio leveled up and I believe got kick.
I just saw that it was take a bow.
Because I was tired of not having it. And match rating 20 out of 20, we play the most exciting Blood Bowl.
Yeah, we do. But that take a bow, that was pretty good. Because right now, we're taking a bow. Goodbye, everyone.
Yep, goodbye.